even when you are in the mainstream, there is a way in which discrimination metamorphoses into something else. We must continue with the agenda of inclusion. On the floor of Parliament, in civil society, we must say enough is enough.
Statistics show that at least 1 in every 17,000 persons is born with albinism, a genetic disorder which can also cause blindness. It's a disorder that results in the production of little or no pigment in the skin, hair and eyes.
Away from topics za kawaida wase ignorance mingi kwa society, allow me to say sijui kwa nini watu wanani.
But take a break from the definition of the disorder itself and meet these models with albinism who have refused to let the condition confine or define them. They are 21-year-old Florence Kisombe, a student, and her two friends Grace Nzomo and Valencia Bosibori. They are the new face of people living with albinism in a continent that has for long witnessed the suffering and discrimination of persons living with albinism.
Some they say it's a curse, a punishment that comes from the ancestors and such stuff. So I think for me, I'm doing it to create this positive awareness out there and tell everyone that it's okay to be different and it's okay to lack melanin, and we are not like disabled. We can't go to work and go to school. We can do every other stuff like any other normal person. So I think I'm doing modeling for that, and I'm beautiful.
But the three who are now models, thanks to James Gishangi and his group known as the Kalakofes, the models are now full of life and miles away from stigma associated with the condition.
There's always been the stigma of, cancer cases, everything negative about albinism. But when I met some of them, the ones I met, they were very beautiful.
But even as they enjoyed the clicks of the cameras and the glamour associated with modeling, they know all too well that their presence as models will have a much greater significance as they seek to challenge ideas of what is beautiful.
Mothers come with young children with albinism and they wonder how they're going to grow up, where are we going to take them to school. So when they see a role model, a person with albinism who's really grown up, and as if I'm in university right now, so they have hope. We just tell them, give them all the support and love they need.
But the students come models say that sometimes they have had to explain that they are indeed beautiful black girls.
Sometimes when I walk around, people call me Mzungu. Sometimes when you go somewhere, they have to look at you for like 20-30 minutes, and then they're like, wait a minute, I have a question. Are you Mzungu or are you African? And I'm like, I'm African, I'm a person with albinism. So, sometimes, you have to deal with this stuff. Sometimes it's a bit annoying when you walk around streets and they have to discuss it loudly, like, is this a Mzungu, is this a albino?
In many African countries, persons living with albinism endure persecution and prejudice, with some even being hunted down by witch doctors.
It is very unfair what is happening in parts of the world where they're being used for witchcraft, for example, like in Tanzania and even here. They're also human beings. Being different does not mean you're an outcast.
The Kalakofes campaign, which was founded by renowned Kenyan artist Nonini, provides sunscreens, sunglasses and protective clothing to people living with albinism. While they still have a long way to go in getting people to embrace albinism throughout the continent, James and his colleagues believe that there's still time to change people's mentality and realize the vision of the campaign, which is to see people with albinism get opportunities to realize their full potential and live in a world where the color and tone of their skin is not used against them. Yussuf Ibrahim, K24 Weekend Edition.
mentality.